So this is one of the most critical steps in the development process because it ensures that you're focusing on what truly matters, building efficiently and avoiding unnecessary complexity that could slow down the development. So we're going to break down how to define your app's core features, structure your statement of work, SOW, and why we're using a waterfall approach instead of Agile or Scrum for this particular lesson. And so now, let's start with your app's core features. These are the essential functions that bring your app to life. Think of it like this. What is the one main thing your app needs to do in order for it to be useful? A ride-sharing app like Uber must allow users to request rides and match with drivers. A fitness app like MyFitnessPal must track food intake and calories. A social media app like Instagram must allow users to post and engage with content. And so everything else, notifications, settings, dark mode, those are great, but they are not the core functionalities. Defining these essential features early ensures you don't waste time building things your users won't even care about. And so once you define your core features, the next step is scoping your MVP. The MVP, or minimum viable product, is the simplest, most functional version of your app that will be put on the Apple and Android stores that allows users to accomplish its main purpose. The goal here is not to build a perfect, fully featured product. That comes later. Instead, it's about getting a working prototype into the hands of early users as quickly as possible so you can gather feedback, validate assumptions, and iterate. So let's break down how to approach the MVP feature selection. Number one, the must-have features. These are non-negotiable. Without these, your app doesn't function. If you're building a meditation app, guided meditation playback is a must. If you're building a task management app, users must be able to create tasks. Number two, nice to have features. These are valuable, but not necessary for launch. Things like push notifications, integrations with third-party apps, or custom themes can be added later. Number three, future features. These are ambitious or complex features that will enhance your app later once you have more user data and resources. Think AI-powered recommendations, social features, or advanced data analytics. And so now, let's talk about the statement of work, your SOW. This is your detailed project plan that outlines exactly what will be built, how it will be built, and the timeline for development. A well-structured SOW includes a project overview, which is a high-level description of the app, its purpose, and the target audience. In the scope of work, a detailed breakdown of the features, functionalities, and platforms your app will support. The technical requirements, basically the development stack, APIs, database structure, and any integrations required. The timeline and milestones, so basically clear phases of development from design to testing and launch. The eventual deliverables, so what assets will be provided at each stage, including wireframes, prototypes, and final builds. The testing and QA, and so how the app will be tested, bug tracking, and quality assurance processes. And so now let's discuss methodologies. Normally in high-speed development environments, we use Scrum or Agile, which allows for continuous iteration, fast feedback cycles, and adaptability. These are usually very costly as well. And since you may not be familiar with working in an Agile environment, for this project, we are going to use a waterfall approach. Waterfall development is a linear, structured approach where each phase of the project is completed before moving to the next. This means we define everything up front. For example, the requirements, the design, the development, the testing, the deployment, before we write any type of code. This approach is ideal when working on projects with fixed scope, strict deadlines, and minimal room for change or small budgets. Hence, our non-technical founders if they're solopreneurs. And so, here's how we will break it down. Number one, the requirement gathering basically defines the app's features, the functionalities, and the user flows. Two, wireframing and UI UX design. This basically helps create the visual layout and interactive experience of the app. Number three, the technical architecture and database planning. It basically tells you how to structure how the app's backend, APIs, and data storage will work. Four, the development phase, the actual coding of the app, which is divided into milestones. Number five, the testing and QA. So this is identifying and fixing bugs, ensuring stability before release. Number six, the deployment and launch, which is publishing the app to the Apple and Android stores. So number seven, the post-launch maintenance, monitoring performance and addressing early issues. And that's it. This step-by-step approach ensures clarity and structure, making it easier for everyone, especially the developers and designers, and of course yourselves as solopreneurs, to stay aligned. Unlike Agile, where new features and adjustments can be made mid-development, Waterfall follows a strict plan which helps keep projects on time and within budget. However, this also means that once development begins, changes can be costly and time consuming. So that's why defining your core features and MVP scope up front is crucial to making sure we build the right product the first time. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be the right product. So let's look at some real world examples when Airbnb first launched. They didn't have a robust host dashboard, property management system, or even experiences feature. Their MVP was a simple website where users could list a spare room for rent and travelers could book it. Period. Over time, they collected data, learned what users needed, and scaled into the global platform that you know today. Another example is, of course, Instagram. The MVP was just photo sharing with filters. That's it. No stories, no reels, no direct messages, just a simple way to share photos. They built a loyal user base first, then expanded their features. So this is why defining your MVP scope correctly is essential. If you try to build everything at once, you'll burn resources, slow down development, and risk launching a bloated, unfocused product. Instead, focus on what truly matters. Ask yourself, what is the simplest version of my app that delivers real value? That's it. What features are absolutely necessary for launch? What can be added later once I have real user data? By answering these questions, we'll ensure your app launches as efficiently and effectively as possible. I'm going to take you over to my computer where we'll walk through an example of how to properly define your app's core features, outline your MVP scope, and structure your statement of work. So let's dive in. All right, guys. So today we're going to create our scope of work for the MVP. Basically, we're going to do that with ChatGPT and this other software called Lovable. We're going to use both of these together so we can try to get the best output as quickly as possible. So we're going to use AI, guys. The goal in general when doing this is to use all the information for your app when you're inputting into these softwares. The more information about it, the better. Descriptions, features that you would like to implement. I would recommend you create, especially if you're using ChatGPT, a whole entire area just dedicated to your app project. I'm going to give you also a prompt that is a little bit spread out throughout the whole entire course, and that prompt will be coupled with the information from your app. I recommend you just have all this right here. It's going to give you the right prompt in order to create all this information for your app. So use AI. It's here for you and it's here to help. Here is the information for the app that I want to use. Let's do that. And now go back to ChatGPT. Boom. Alrighty. So this is what we got. This is a little project that I just thought about the other night and I thought it was pretty cool. So let's look at these questions. Alright. Jurisdiction source. Should the app pull from federal, state, and municipal databases? If yes, any preferences or example sources? So yes, all of them. 2. AI functionality for legal professionals. Should this mimic Westlaw, Lexis level and research tools, or more like a smart legal assistant? Yes, and even smarter, using deep research tools available. User authentication. Will users need to register with email SSO? Yes. Any plans for verifying attorney law firm? I guess that could be good. Their credentials / bar numbers when signing up for enterprise. Mobile stack. Are you okay with Flutter for cross-platform or prefer native? Okay for cross-platform, Flutter or React, whichever works best based on our framework. Monetization strategy. Will there be tiered pricing? Yes, tiered pricing. Are there any jurisdictions like California that require specific legal tech compliances? Sure. This is an app that will come out first in California, in the US. Whichever data policies and protection services needed for the app. Data protection. All right. Let's iterate. Let's get this prompt down the road. Okay. I love how ChatGPT just always recommends GPT. That's something interesting though. So we just got to make sure that this makes sense, and that's why we're going to pass it through another AI just to see what it says. All right, final questions for refinement or dev handoff. This we can see what we like, what we don't like, and then you can choose what you prefer. Should we support Spanish or multilingual access to laws for our MVP? Just English. But who knows? Maybe Spanish would be a great way to open the market to immigrants who want to learn and understand how it works here in the US. So maybe Spanish might be actually a good thing for our early adopters. Do you want the AI to also generate email templates, filings, or motion drafts for lawyers? Yes. Any CRM or legal software integrations, Clio, Practice Panther, planned for later phases? What a legal software that could be useful. All right, we got our prompt. We got a solid one too. So we're going to use not only ChatGPT, but we're also going to use the other AI and see kind of the difference that it does and that it makes. Using multiple is never a bad thing. Do it. And I set into a PDF, even though it wasn't really a PDF, but we'll see what it says. So now you can generate this into any AI law firm going forward. Cool. It says download now, create a Google Doc, and go into detail. Because sometimes when it generates PDFs, it doesn't always work. So, goodness, I hate it when it does that. So yes, of course, thank you for telling me how to do that. Please write it now for me here. Goodness. All right, there we go. It's here. We got a SAO, guys. It's very basic, but this is somewhere to start. All right, so now I'm gonna take our prompt. This is our SAO. I'm gonna put this in a Google Doc now. All right, here's our ChatGPT SAO right here. And I'm gonna now copy this and we're gonna make another. So I'm gonna erase this, take the prompt that we created here. I'm actually gonna paste it in here, remove this. Okay, now copied it, and now we're going into Lovable. Get started for free. Of course, I'm gonna try to do this really quickly for you guys. Okay. All right. We're here, so let's do this. All right, guys, I put that into our Lovable platform, and this is what it spat out. I wanted to say that I do prefer this layout. Obviously, it looks better than what ChatGPT gave. It's also a little bit interactive. Pretty nice. I like that. And so, in general, obviously, it took what we put from the last prompt, and the last prompt, it prompted us to put OpenAI as one of the main technical architectures. And so for our law firm, making sure that this isn't the only AI that we use is going to help us in the future to at least create software comparable to anything that's available. And so I asked the AI on Lovable what else we could use, and it gave me these options on the left. Everything that has to do with Claude and all these different AIs that actually already exist in the law space, which is pretty cool. Obviously, I'm not in the law space, so I did not know. And I thought my idea was amazing and revolutionary, and guess what? It's not. But anyway, I took this information from here and I put it into a Google Doc as well to compare both. And by the way, I basically had to take all this information. I did a huge Control A, paste in ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT to clean it up, and it gave me this. So this is what it gave. And I prefer this. I prefer this than the ChatGPT document. So going forward, I would most likely use this as my base and fill in the blanks because it didn't take everything, since this is actually almost like an app, like a small web app that was created because it's actually visible on web. If you can see here at the top, we have the preview Law Smart Assist Lovable the app. So it's actually a web page that was generated and it has all this information for us. So I think we should definitely go a little bit further down the rabbit hole with Lovable, at least with this documentation. But yeah, for now, I think this is a good start. Thank you so much for watching this video and get to creating your SAO, guys. Good luck.